All right, y'all, 3:40, and that means it is time for Before the Four. Welcome in, everyone. Happy Friday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest here, hoping you're having a great end to your week. Wherever you're watching Before the Four this afternoon, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, as always, thank you so much for watching and spending just a bit of your Friday afternoon here. Now first, let's talk about the weather moving into the weekend. It is expected to feel very nice outside, which is a real mix-up from Monday when it was super cold. But let's turn over to 48 First Alert meteorologist Jada Russell for the latest. Jada?
Happy Friday. Hope you're having a wonderful start to the weekend. It is gorgeous outside. Temperatures in those mid and upper 70s. Much of a different change of pace that we've seen for this week at the end of the week. Earlier this week, we saw some snow flurries and it was below freezing some mornings. So we have taken a complete turn of events. This warm front, though, does come to a close closer to the start of the work week. But I want to walk you through your weekend first, expecting to see temperatures around the upper end 70s for our Saturday. So it's going to get warmer than what we've seen for today. And as we go through the rest of the weekend, could see some possible pop-up showers, about a 20% chance for your Sunday. Looking ahead to the work week, though, that's when we start to see some things ebb and flow, shift and change for you with those rain chances. So once we get to Monday, the expectation is that this warm front's going to lift late Monday and could possibly start some showers into Tuesday, even Wednesday. We're expecting to see a second front moving through, giving us an opportunity for more rain chances for the back half of the work week and a stronger storm setup to come next Friday. So if you're like me and you've already got your Christmas decorations out, make sure they are secured if they are outdoors. We could see some stronger wind gusts going into the following week with some of those shower chances and even the storm setup expected for Friday of next week. So enjoy the rest of your Friday while we've got this gorgeous weather, and AJ will be right back in just a second.
And the second is up. Thank you, Jada. And it's nice to have a view of the parkway this afternoon. Also, if you're watching at home right now, you already know the drill, but First Alert Weather Extra, that is tonight at 9:30. Jada Russell, she'll be back here in the streaming center, and she'll have all the latest she's seeing on the radar. Feel free to leave a comment tonight. And of course, you can watch that wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. So just not going to want to miss it. First Alert Weather Extra. But now heading out to Decatur, where Wednesday night we learned that an officer-involved shooting took place on 11th Avenue Southwest and 1st Street. 48's Callie Neese tells us what we know right now about that shooting.
City officials called a press conference today to provide what they say is clear and accurate information to the public as they are asking questions about what really happened on 11th Avenue. Decatur Police Chief Tori Mack said it started around 8:25 Wednesday night as a DPD officer tried to stop the driver. That driver initially refused to stop. The vehicle continued at a slow speed until it stopped at 11th Avenue. He says the driver got out and brandished what appeared to be a firearm. That is when Max said the officer fired about 3 shots, with at least one of them hitting the victim. At last check, the victim was in stable condition, and the officer involved has been placed on administrative leave. Mayor Kent Lawrence said at the press conference the public deserves clear information.
Our goal is to keep the public informed in a steady, responsible way. Please be cautious about spreading rumors on social media. Accurate information will come directly from the Decatur Police Department.
But when I asked Chief Mack to clarify for me what he meant when he said appeared to be a firearm, and he said he didn't want to get ahead of the investigation. But when pressed further on the matter, this was his response.
But you guys didn't find a gun, or you did?
We found something that appeared to be a firearm.
Witnesses said they were scared.
I just want to say, all I want to say is just put the guns away. That's what, and try other, necessary means.
The Morgan County Sheriff's Office has taken over the investigation, and we have already reached out to officials from MCSO for more answers. Stay tuned to 48 for the latest. Reporting in Decatur, Callie Neese, 48 News, on your side.
Of course, that was Callie Niche reporting last night in Decatur on that officer-involved shooting. That is what we know at the moment, but of course, we are working to learn more about that situation, and we'll have more coming up in our evening newscasts. But now in Owens Crossroads, where the City Council is pursuing legal action against troubled teen facility Pathway after over 5 teens ran away yet again last week. 48's Nick Ballinger with that story.
The ball is rolling once again for the city of Owens Crossroads to force the closure of Pathway on Hamer Road. The council met Thursday to discuss the facility for troubled teens who were in the foster care system. Mayor Tony Craig
We'll make a motion for our attorneys to pursue any and all legal remedies available concerning the issue at hand.
which means city attorneys will now explore what options the council has to possibly revoke Pathway's business license. To keep its license, Pathway was given 90 days to build a fence around the facility. That was 100 days ago. Here's what stands today. That lack of progress, coupled with 6 girls escaping on Friday, swayed the city council.
They're escaping because there are problems in that facility. I've seen it over and over again.
Attorney Tommy James represents teens, some now adults, who reported abuse, neglect, and unsafe conditions inside facilities like Pathway.
When there's warning signs like the escapes, when the group escapes, you know there are red flags. They're escaping to their safety. It seems like steps are being taken, justifiably so, to shut down one of these places, and that's a good day anytime one of these places shuts down.
WAFF tried to speak to a representative from the facility but was told, quote, no comment.
These places are about profit, profit, profit. They're going to do everything in their power to keep this place open. They're not giving up. The fight's not over.
And now with that, we're going to head to break, but coming up, the Elkmont community is mourning after a 17-year-old volunteer firefighter was tragically killed in a car crash. And also going through the high school football games here in the Tennessee Valley, now in the second week of the playoffs. It's all ahead. We'll go through it all in 1 minute. All right, well, hello everyone and welcome back to Before the Four. Now heading out to Limestone County, where the Elkmont Volunteer Fire Department is in mourning after losing one of their own. 48's Faith Stelp with more.
Jeremiah Scott would volunteer here as a cadet when he wasn't in school. Fire Chief Michael Carter told me Scott's passing was a hard hit to this firefighter family.
It was like I lost one of my own.
Scott walked through the Elkmont Volunteer Fire Department's doors in March of 2024 and changed Chief Carter's life. Carter told me every day Scott walked in with a smile on his face, no matter what kind of day he was having. Scott made a lasting impression with everyone he met, even Carter's granddaughter, who gave him the nickname of Jeremiah Bullfrog. After Scott died, Carter's granddaughter asked when she would see Scott again.
She said, Jeremiah Bullfrog died. He's in heaven. I said, yeah, baby, I know. He's watching down, looking down over us. He's going to take care of us. Will I get to see Jeremiah Bullfrog again? I said, yeah, baby, you'll get to see him one more time. That's the effect he had on people.
Scott died Sunday at the scene. When Carter found out, he didn't believe the news.
I was shocked. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And I just laid there. I know it wasn't just a few minutes, but it seemed like forever. The memories started going through my mind.
Carter says Scott was one of a kind. He had goals and aspirations to become a full-time firefighter after he turned 18 in January. Carter says he was taken from this life far too soon.
Not saying all kids are bad, but Jeremiah was a real good kid.
Scott's funeral will be held Friday at the Madison Street Baptist Church from 10 a.m. to noon. Donations or meals can be sent right here to the Elkmont Volunteer Fire Department. Reporting in Elkmont, Faith Delp 48 News on your side.
Such a devastating story right there. And of course, Jeremiah will be greatly missed, not only in Elkmont, but the entire North Alabama community. But now let's go through some of the high school football games tonight, now in the second week of the playoffs. And let's pull up the games tonight. Of course, we have Hackleburg. They are still in the mix in Class 1A. They are playing Hubbardsville tonight. We also have some games. We got Pisgah. They are playing tonight. We have Red Bay. They are facing off against Southeastern, Lexington, and Coosa Christian. Mars Hill Bible, the defending champions in Class 3A. They are facing off against Winfield tonight. We have Geraldine playing. Fife is facing off against Piedmont. And we have Colbert County also still alive for the second week of the playoffs in Class 3A. Now let's go down to 4A. And some really good games happening tonight in Class 4A. West Morgan, they are alive and well. They are playing Good Hope tonight. We have Plainview. They are facing off against Alexandria. Madison Academy heading down to Anniston to face off for a little pigskin playoff action. And of course, we have Deschler facing off against Hamilton tonight. Now down to 5A, Scottsboro. They are playing St. Clair County. We have Priceville. They are playing tonight, and Russellville. And then finally, we have Class 6A, where Muscle Shoals is still alive. We have Fort Payne still alive. They're playing Mountain Brook. And, of course, Hartselle traveling down to Homewood. And these are our second round of the playoff matchups happening tonight. Stay tuned to 48 Blitz and 48 Blitz OT, our digital stream, right after our 10 o'clock newscast. We'll have all the scores and highlights from across the valley here in the second week of the high school football playoffs. Y'all, it is coming down to the wire. We are heading into the end of the season, of course, heading closer to the AHSAA championship. So exciting stuff happening in some high school football, of course, for the next couple of weeks. But yep, 48 Blitz and 48 Blitz OT. We'll have all those scores and highlights because we already know you're just not going to want to miss it. But now, speaking of things you're just not going to want to miss, you're not going to want to miss this story right here. Take a look at this. She was born without her left arm, but her journey of overcoming obstacles and inspiring others led her to her dream career. Steve Harris introduces us to the young woman now helping kids just like her.
I want you to meet someone. Pattonville High freshman Madeline Hubbs. When she's not learning French, riding horses, twirling baton, or swimming, she's doing everything else a normal 14-year-old does. Thing is, she does it all a little differently.
Now, that was actually the very first Shriners story I ever did 11 years ago. Madeline was born 10 weeks early without her left arm, and at 4 months old, she became a patient at Shriners Children's and eventually a patient ambassador.
I truly started sharing my message from an early age and how much Shriners meant to me, and that was probably the most empowering things as I got my confidence from.
When I met her, she was making videos to show other kids with one arm how to braid hair, jump rope, and tie shoes. Those videos would eventually shape her future.
Ultimately, that led me to wanting to pursue a degree in occupational therapy because I enjoyed helping others so much.
Like the little girl she taught how to paint her nails at Shrineability Camp.
We put the nail polish caps in our mouths and we painted our nails. And she got up and ran across the gym and yelled, "Mom, I can paint my nails now!" And at that point, I realized that I wanted to go into OT, and if I could have one moment like that in my career, my life would be fulfilled.
Now she's 25 and working as an occupational therapist. Still doing anything she wants her own way, and now teaching other kids to do the same.
Incredible story there. And now let's go into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. Details on a vandalism arrest in Decatur. 48's Faith Delp will have that coming up. The nationwide ban on hemp products and the recent spending bill that helped reopen the federal government. Noah Cowell is on that today. And finally, kitchen cops. Get all the latest scores across the Tennessee Valley coming up. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. And we have enough time for it today, y'all. We have time for Facebook fun. And our 48 Facebook question today: what is something you learned in school but never used after graduation? And let's see what you all had to say. What is something you learned but never used once you got that diploma? And let's see what y'all said. Karen said algebra along with calculus. I feel that, Karen. I do find myself using a bit more algebra than calculus in my day-to-day life, but still not using a ton of algebra. With that said, Edith said diagramming sentences. Yep, I haven't diagrammed a sentence probably since 6th grade, I think. Andrew said that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. It's fascinating stuff. I love biology. I love science. I just am not using it a whole lot in my day-to-day. But still, it's still fascinating stuff, no doubt about it. Sue Stevenson said shorthand. I feel like with shorthand, it's like, I have my own shorthand. I'll be writing stuff on my notepad, and it's like, I know what it says, but I don't know if anyone else does. Doug said, what did Doug say again? I missed that. His locker combination, yep. Do not remember my lunch code, my lunch password, or my locker combination, any of my locker combinations. So definitely not using that a lot. Brandon Muse said MLA 7 format. Oh my gosh, the memories. I remember writing high school essays in MLA format. That feels like lifetimes ago. Back before I was a journalism major, of course, in college, using AP style, Associated Press style. But I miss the days of writing MLA format for sure, but not using it too much in my day-to-day now. But y'all, as always, you had super awesome comments for today's 48 Facebook question. It always makes my day seeing what you all have to say here across the Tennessee Valley in response to our question of the day. But y'all, that is just about it for today's Before the Four. But as always, I want to thank you all for watching and spending a bit of your Friday afternoon here. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Get out, enjoy this beautiful weather here in North Alabama. And of course, I hope you all enjoy tonight's evening newscast. As always, thank you so much for watching, and you all have a great night.